stop for a moment. Something in the atmosphere around you is shifting as you hear these words, and even if you don't fully understand why, your spirit can already feel the weight of what is coming. The air becomes heavier, almost electric, as if an unseen hand is brushing against your soul to make sure you don't miss a single syllable that is being spoken over your life right now. Don't move. Don't look away. There is a reason your heart feels like it's being pulled into this moment, as if time itself paused to allow a message from beyond the veil to reach you. You are being summoned into a revelation that touches the deepest parts of who you are, the places you've kept hidden from yourself, the places where light and shadow have been wrestling for control. And as these words enter your spirit, something ancient wakes up, an echo of a truth you were always meant to hear, but never ready to face until now. Before we go deeper, place your hand on your heart and breathe slowly, because in this moment, I want you to write your warmest wishes in the comments and seal them with 7, 7, 7 as a spiritual activation code. Do it with intention, because heaven responds to clarity, and the unseen realms read what your soul writes long before your fingers touch the screen. And hear this with the full emotional weight it carries. You are being warned again, pulled back from a spiritual edge you didn't realize you were standing on. A place where the wrong step could cost you pieces of yourself you cannot afford to lose. After you release your wishes, I'm commanding you. Like this video with authority, subscribe with obedience, and step fully into this message so you never miss the guidance that is chasing your spirit right now. Let this be the moment you choose awakening over collapse, alignment over destruction, and destiny over delay. Now listen closely, because from this point forward, what comes next is not simply information. It is intervention. There are warnings that come like whispers, soft enough that you can ignore them if you choose. But then there are warnings that arrive as ruptures in your timeline, moments when the spiritual realm tears through the illusion of normal life and forces your eyes open because danger has already begun weaving itself around you. You have felt it, even if you tried to explain it away. Uneasiness in your chest with no cause, random waves of sadness that feel borrowed, not yours, sudden tension in your relationships, dreams that feel too vivid to dismiss, a heaviness that wakes you up at night as if someone is standing next to your bed, watching the movements of your soul. These are not coincidences. These are not emotional fluctuations. These are indicators, signs of a spiritual pattern tightening around your destiny, a pattern meant to distract, distort, and eventually dismantle who you are becoming. And heaven refuses to let you walk blindly into something designed to consume you. Understand this. Your spiritual environment has been shifting faster than your conscious mind can process. You are walking through a season where unseen forces are studying your weaknesses, mapping your vulnerabilities, learning the places where you hesitate, where you cling to memories you should have released long ago, where your old wounds still bleed beneath the surface. They are watching, not because you are weak, but because you are significant in a way you do not yet comprehend. The enemy does not waste surveillance on the insignificant. There is a blueprint on your name, a record in the unseen realms of the impact you were created to release, the chains you were designed to break, and the cycles you were anointed to end. And because of that, the attacks you feel are not random. They are strategic. They are not sudden. They are calculated. The battle around you intensified the moment you stepped toward the version of yourself that hell fears most. And yet, what you have felt is only the surface of a much deeper spiritual conflict. Something has been scanning your spirit, searching for access points. Old habits resurfacing out of nowhere. People returning from your past, carrying the same energy you escaped. Opportunities appearing that look good but drain your soul. Emotional triggers being activated as if someone is pressing buttons inside your chest. These are not psychological coincidences. They are spiritual entry attempts. They are targeted disruptions sent to weaken your discernment so you cannot recognize the trap forming in front of you. But heaven is louder now, because heaven refuses to watch you be swallowed by something you were never meant to battle alone. You have reached a threshold in your life where your soul is being stretched, pulled between two timelines, the one you were born into and the one you were born for. There is a version of you that is rising, encoded with divine memory, carrying frequencies that your old self cannot survive. This is why you have felt internal conflict. This is why familiar environments now feel foreign. This is why people who once understood you suddenly feel miles away. You are shifting dimensions. Your spirit is undergoing cellular reconstruction, pulling you out of patterns that were designed to keep you spiritually asleep. Angels have been assigned to you, performing unseen surgery on the wounds you refuse to acknowledge, repairing fractures in your spiritual DNA, activating dormant gifts you forgot you carried. You are not losing yourself. You are shedding what cannot cross into your next season. Your dreams have been carrying messages, warnings encrypted inside imagery you don't fully understand. Running without moving, falling through darkness, walking through old homes from your past, seeing people who no longer exist in your life. These are spiritual diagnostics, your soul showing you what is being removed, what is being rewired, what is being exposed. When you wake up with a heavy chest, it is not anxiety. It is your spirit adjusting to a higher frequency before your mind catches up. When you feel sudden chills, it is not fear. It is heaven brushing past you to remind you that you are not alone in this transition. Your spirit is remembering Eden, the original blueprint of who you were before life distorted you, before trauma rewired your nervous system, before betrayal reshaped your trust, before pain convinced you to live smaller than your calling. There is someone in your life right now whose energy has been draining you in ways you cannot articulate. This person carries a frequency misaligned with your destiny, yet your heart has been trying to justify their presence. Heaven is trying to separate you, not to isolate you, but to protect the fragile layers of who you are becoming. You cannot carry everyone into the place you are being prepared for. Some people were chapters, not lifetimes. Some were teachers, not partners. Some were warnings, not assignments. And the longer you hold on, the heavier your spirit becomes, because your soul recognizes danger long before your emotions do. Heaven has been whispering to you through discomfort. Pay attention to what no longer feels peaceful. Peace is the first language of divine alignment. There was a moment recently when you felt something inside you collapse briefly. A wave of emotion that came without explanation. A sudden emptiness that passed through you like a shadow. That was not weakness. That was exposure. Something that was hiding in your spirit surfaced, unable to remain buried under the light that is awakening within you. The pressure you've been under is not punishment. It is purification. You are being stripped of everything that cannot survive the fire of your next elevation. Heaven removes what hell intends to use against you. Heaven exposes what darkness hoped to keep disguised. Heaven warns before heaven delivers. A testimony is already forming inside you, even if you cannot see it yet. Someone watching this has felt their entire life collapse in the span of only months. Relationships ending, finances tightening, clarity dissolving, motivation disappearing. You thought you were being attacked because you were weak, but the truth is far more profound. You were being broken open, so your real identity could escape the shell of who you used to be. Divine rewiring often feels like destruction before it feels like rebirth. When heaven performs surgery, it removes before it restores. What you lost was not taken from you. It was extracted. What fell apart was not meant to remain. What hurt you was not meant to stay. This is not the end of your story. This is the clearing of spiritual debris, so your real destiny can finally breathe. The warning continues, and you must keep listening, because the next part digs even deeper into what has been chasing your spirit. The atmosphere around you tightens the moment this part begins, as if something unseen reached forward and pulled you closer, so you wouldn't miss a single breath of what is being revealed now. It feels like stepping into a dimly lit corridor where every sound echoes louder, every heartbeat drums with a deeper purpose, and every whisper from the unseen world traces itself across your skin like a warning written in invisible ink. You can sense it. There is something hovering just behind this moment, something watching the movements of your soul with unwavering attention. You are not imagining the pressure. You are not imagining the shift. The spiritual realm has expanded around you, because this is the part where deeper layers of truth begin to surface, the layers you've avoided, the layers that hold the key to why your life has felt heavier, stranger, more spiritually fragile than ever before. There are seasons when heaven tries to get your attention gently, placing signs along your path like soft reminders. But there are other seasons, rare, intense, and spiritually volatile, where heaven has no choice but to intercept your timeline with a force that shakes your internal world. You are in that season now. The signals have been building. The inexplicable exhaustion that floods you at random moments, the sudden waves of emotion that don't match your surroundings, the urge to withdraw without knowing why, the feeling that something unseen has its hands on the edges of your life. These are spiritual alarms. Your soul has been trying to warn you of shifts happening behind the curtain. Shifts that have been rearranging the atmosphere around you without your conscious permission. And the truth is this: your spirit has been in warfare long before your mind realized a battle had started. There are forces that observe you, not because you are vulnerable, but because you are rising. They have studied your patterns closely, learned what triggers you, memorized the emotional wounds you've tried to bury. They know which memories weaken you, which attachments blind you, which insecurities create cracks in your spiritual armor. And recently, they've been testing those cracks, pressing on them slowly, hoping one of them will break open enough to pull you off your path. The heaviness you've felt is not random. It is an attempt to distort your perception so you cannot see the danger forming around choices that look harmless on the surface. You must pay attention now more than ever, because spiritual traps rarely appear as threats. They appear as comforts. They arrive wearing familiarity. They disguise themselves as opportunities. They whisper your name in the tone of nostalgia. Inside your spirit, a sequence has already begun. An activation that has been rewiring your internal architecture in ways you haven't fully understood. Your intuition has sharpened. Your discernment has become louder. Your dreams have grown more symbolic, more prophetic, more intrusive. This is not a coincidence. This is cellular reconstruction happening in real time. You are being recoded, drawn into a higher frequency where your destiny can finally breathe without being suffocated by the versions of yourself you were never meant to remain. But with this elevation comes exposure, and with exposure comes danger, because not everything connected to you is meant to survive this shift. Something, or someone, you've allowed close to your heart is not aligned with your elevation. Their presence drains your energy, fractures your clarity, and weakens your spiritual defenses. Their intentions are not as pure as their words. Their energy carries a subtle imbalance that disrupts your atmosphere every time they enter it. You've felt it. A tightness in your spirit, a sudden heaviness when they call, a confusion that lingers after your conversations. Heaven has been trying to reveal this to you gently, but your heart has been covering their truth with hope. Hope is beautiful, but hope can blind. And spiritual danger thrives in blindness. Your soul has been shaking, not from weakness, but from awakening. You are remembering parts of yourself you forgot existed. The strength buried under old trauma, the clarity buried under past heartbreak, the intuition buried under years of self-doubt. You are awakening the Eden memory, the original design of your spirit before life wounded you into silence. And as you rise into this remembrance, everything not aligned with your purity begins to tremble. This is why you've been feeling alone lately. Not because you are abandoned, but because low frequencies cannot follow you into high places. You are ascending, and ascension always strips away what cannot breathe in thinner spiritual air. Something powerful is happening in your dreams. You've seen symbols you don't understand, shadows that feel too close, voices calling your name through places that feel like memories you never lived. These dreams are not random. They are spiritual X-rays, revealing fractures you cannot see while awake. When you wake up feeling like something touched you, it is not imagination. When you wake up heavy, it is not emotional fatigue. Angels have been performing surgery in the unseen realm, repairing wounds your conscious mind still denies, sealing openings the enemy has tried to exploit, pulling you back from pathways that would have led to destruction. Heaven has been intervening silently, because heaven always protects the soul that is in transition, especially when danger is near. You've been feeling time differently. Moments stretch, hours disappear, days blur. This is what happens when your spirit steps into a timeline shift. You are no longer walking through life the way you used to. You are straddling two realities, the one you're leaving behind and the one you're being pulled into. This is why certain old habits suddenly feel suffocating. This is why your old wounds no longer fit your identity. This is why you feel exhausted by conversations that once excited you. You are transitioning into a higher frequency, and your soul is shedding everything too heavy to carry into the next dimension of your purpose. There is a testimony forming inside someone watching this, a quiet miracle unfolding beneath the pain. You have survived things that should have shattered you beyond repair. You have walked through storms that were designed to erase you. You have cried prayers that went unanswered, not because heaven ignored you, but because heaven was preparing something stronger than the solution you asked for. You are not broken. You are rebuilding. You are not rejected. You are redirected. You are not behind. You are protected. The danger around you is real, but so is the covering on your life. A covering that has shielded you even when you didn't know you were being watched by eyes that do not blink. You must understand, heaven is not trying to scare you. Heaven is trying to save you. And the revelations that come next will reach even deeper into the truth you have been avoiding. The light around you dims, as if a veil has been lowered between worlds. And for a moment, it feels like you are standing inside the center of a storm that has been circling your life for years, waiting for the exact second your spirit would be ready to confront what has been haunting you. The atmosphere thickens, the air grows colder, and something inside you tightens with the unmistakable sense that this is not just another message. This is the moment your destiny stops running from the truth. You have reached the point where heaven refuses to let you stay blind, where the danger around you must be exposed before it destroys the parts of you that have barely begun to heal. And as this revelation unfolds, the spiritual pressure on your chest is not fear, it is awakening. Your soul is being pulled into a higher clarity that has the power to alter the rest of your life, if you dare to let it. There has been a shadow following you, subtle, quiet, patient. It observed you during your weakest moments, circled you during seasons when your heart was fragile, whispered to you during nights when you felt unworthy, unseen, or exhausted. This shadow is not a creature, but a pattern, a cycle designed to keep you returning to the same emotional prisons you thought you had outgrown. It hides inside familiar comforts. It disguises itself as harmless decisions. It waits for your loneliness. It studies your insecurities. And every time you move closer to your calling, it rises again, hoping to reclaim the parts of you that were once easy to manipulate. Heaven is exposing it now, because your spirit has crossed a threshold. Your elevation has begun, and darkness always fights hardest when it senses it is losing its grip. Your soul has been suffering from something you didn't have the language to describe: spiritual depletion. You have been pouring into situations that give nothing back. You have been carrying emotional weight that does not belong to you. You have been absorbing energies that were never meant to touch your heart. And slowly, without realizing it, your inner fire dimmed. Your dreams became quieter. Your intuition became muffled. Your confidence trembled under the weight of invisible burdens. You blamed yourself for being tired, when in reality, you were under spiritual extraction. Pieces of your light were being drained through emotional attachments that heaven never assigned to your path. And now the warning arrives because restoration is only possible when the theft is exposed. Something has been feeding on your doubt. Every time you began to rise, it reminded you of who you used to be, hoping you would return to the identity you outgrew. It replayed old memories, resurfaced old wounds, summoned old emotions, hoping they would trap you in cycles you were meant to break. This is why you felt like you were moving backward, even when you were doing everything right. This is why healing felt incomplete, why progress felt temporary, why moments of joy were followed by unexpected heaviness. You have been walking with chains disguised as habits, carrying remnants of spiritual agreements you never consciously made. But heaven is severing them now. You are stepping into a version of yourself that your past can no longer access, and the darkness that once thrived on your vulnerability is losing its claim. If you have felt watched, it's because you have been, not by humans, but by the unseen realm, both sides of it. Heaven has been guarding you. Darkness has been studying you. Your spirit has been glowing brighter than your wounds suggest, brighter than your past implies, brighter than your doubts allow you to believe. And that glow has drawn attention. Some energies want to extinguish it, others want to protect it, but none can ignore it. Your purpose is too loud. Your destiny is too disruptive. Your calling is too deeply encoded in your DNA to go unnoticed. You were never meant to live a small life, and that truth has made you a target. But it has also made you chosen. There is a celestial reconstruction happening inside you right now. Old emotional blueprints are being erased. Soul ties you never recognized are dissolving. Energetic parasites are being ripped out. Angels are closing wounds you forgot you had, sealing openings that were created in childhood, repairing fractures that have shaped your entire identity. This is why you feel tired but awake, broken but rebuilding, scared but strangely calm. You are undergoing divine rewiring. Your nervous system is learning a new frequency. Your heart is remembering how to exist without fear. Your mind is being pulled out of survival mode and into alignment. This process feels like loss, but it is rebirth. It feels like emptiness, but it is clearing. It feels like danger, but it is deliverance. There is something heaven desperately needs you to understand. You are standing on the crossroads of two futures, and only one of them carries the life your soul was designed for. One path leads to repeated cycles: emotional exhaustion, spiritual numbness, relationships that wound more than they heal, opportunities that drain more than they elevate. A life built on coping rather than becoming. The other path leads to awakening, clarity, self-recognition, higher purpose, spiritual authority, unshakable identity, and the peace that comes from walking in alignment instead of survival. You have hovered between these paths before, but this is the first time heaven has intervened this forcefully. Why? Because the danger has grown too close. You have outgrown the version of yourself that can safely remain where you are. Your spirit knows it. Your dreams know it. Your heart knows it. Heaven knows it. But your fear still hesitates. That hesitation is the one thing darkness feeds on. But listen, your hesitation ends here. The unseen realm is shifting right now because of your presence in this moment. The forces that have been circling you are being exposed. The patterns that have held you are being dissolved. The lies that have shaped your identity are being uprooted. And the destiny you thought was delayed is being pulled forward with urgency. You are not being warned to frighten you. You are being warned to awaken you. You are being strengthened, not shaken. You are being repositioned, not punished. You are being called out of danger and into alignment. Heaven is not asking you to try. It is commanding you to rise. Stand up inside yourself. Step out of the frequency that has been draining your spirit. Walk away from what feels familiar, but steals your peace. Choose the future that recognizes your worth, rather than the past that distorts it. Your soul has been in danger long enough. Now it is time to reclaim it. Move.